Hmm. All right. So it looks like I am on live. Hello, hello. And I think I'm all set. I will say that Stephanie is not here yet, but I am. And so good morning to you. Good morning to you. Um, uh, let me do this. So, all right, here we go. Here we go. I'm so excited to talk to you today because it's Thursday. I don't know why I'm so excited. I've got we're taking the weekend off. If you have been looking at us, or if you heard yesterday, or I don't know when I announced it, but we are taking this holiday weekend off. And so I will not be, I say that I'm not going to be online. I'm saying that we're not doing morning glory in the context that we normally do it in. So if I pop online, because I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, if I pop online, it'll probably be a brief encounter, but because there's something about me that just has a hard time sitting back and shutting up and not saying anything. But it will not be like the hour that we do on a regular basis, on the daily basis. So yeah, so I guess people don't know that I go to bed at a 9 p.m. nowadays because because I have to get up so early in the morning, and so I go to bed early. So yes, I don't want to do some 8 o'clock dinner or anything like that. So whatever. So I will say that I am excited about this weekend. I'm going to, for those of you, you guys don't hear me as Stephanie and I are coming into this, but I have been doing some I don't want to say doing some stuff, but I have been letting my hair grow out of this relaxer that I have. And so now I got these little African people down here at the roots. And while I love my hair, and I will tell you, I love my silver. And it is so interesting because not only do we and people experience discrimination about race, but we also have this, because there is certain things that society thinks are acceptable and unacceptable, and hair has been one of those things that in our society is such a political thing. It's crazy. Hey,
I'm not going to stay on here long. I was being nosy. The phones
okay.
are busy. I just wanted to see your hair.
Oh, yes, I haven't. I went yesterday for a consult, and and we talked about what I could do and all of that stuff, which is what I was just explaining to whoever's watching. But so I'm going to get it braided for the weekend, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
uh you know And I was just telling them about how much I love my silver, but how much also people are always kind of like making it seem like I gotta be like this is a grandma statement or or
I
some
thought it was
other
for wisdom.
whatever they
It
think.
used
And
to
I
be
think
the state, used to be that that was a, you know,
the
anyway.
sign of wisdom, I just think is hot. I like it. I like the silver. I mean, this is better than Miss Clairol stuff, right?
It's yours.
So sometimes when I see it just gleaning, it's just like it makes me happy. And so when people say stuff, to me like I should be walking on a cane or something. Or like yesterday when I sat down in my consult, she says to me, "Oh, so you're sassy." And I was
See
like,
what I'm saying?
huh? Yeah, I was like, is that a thing? Well, thank you, Craig. He says silver fox. I mean,
Right.
is that a thing? It's like that's something that you say to a older woman, right? I was like, what is
What
that?
the world? You know what, y'all? I know I'm from Cleveland, but I'm just learning some stuff here.
Is
What is that? You think that was something that would be said to an older person?
yeah, I was like kind of thinking to myself, like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's cool. It's cool though. Because it just made me chuckle. It made me chuckle because somebody said something else about the way you're supposed to dress at 50. And I was like, that's some bullshit.
All right.
I'm like,
I'm
I'm
sure
dressed
certain I missed the mark. Oh, okay.
I'm not age appropriate. I never will be, I hope.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But this is part of what the society and when you watch that video, I
and
hope you
I told her I haven't had an opportunity. I was going to do
yeah.
it during my meditation, and I needed to meditate. So,
Oh, it's a long video, so it's
oh,
not
is
like
it
it's a rush.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
be afterward.
so when you get a chance, I think you will love it. I think that this is right up your alley. I know it's right up your alley. So you will love it. So and yeah. So anyway, yeah, so it went well.
So I'm
So
apologizing ahead of time because I'm the only person up. 111, that's me. And
oh,
and it's been hot. I mean, people are rolling and complaining and yeah.
uh,
So
it's
it's
the
been hot
holiday
this
weekend.
morning.
It's about to
Yeah,
be anyway. Yeah,
yeah. So I thank
yeah,
goodness that I can serve in this capacity for now, but the shift is real.
yeah. I love yellow.
I do too.
I love yellow.
I do
I
too.
don't know that I always look good in it, but I love yellow.
I do too.
So yeah. So I'm excited about today because I get to go
No, and I don't get to. Let me just
I get
believe
to go
God.
to this new section. And well, it's not new section because we're still in the same chakra area, but it's just so freaking juicy because we talking about today the power of choice. And so all of this, after I close out this one section that we're in, what is this section called? We were still in the intro to the chakras.
Power of
And
relationships.
yes, and then now we're going into the power of choice. And I don't think that people, sometimes we are so cavalier about the choices that we make, but they are everything. They are everything. So
Uh,
I'm excited about this.
And they can change. You can change your mind. You
Ooh,
can change your mind.
good. Yes. It's not just a woman's prerogative, it's anybody's prerogative to change your mind. So All right, so I'm giving thanks right here and right now that the words spoken here are filled with light, love, and wisdom of the highest. Amen, amen.
Yeah,
Look
so
at
it
the
is.
sunshine coming out.
Oh,
Yeah, they,
you get a
Eric,
blocker for your window?
huh? No, I got it, but now I have to actually put it up there. And now that I have raised the window, as you can see with this breeze coming through, now that I've raised the window, it would have, I need to change it. The sun is still not where it's going to be for the summer. So
Right.
you know how it's still got to tilt a little more. So I'm wondering if it's going to tilt past the window,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
um, but at any rate, that's what I gotta do. I don't know how far I can lean back to make that. Yeah. Okay. And Erica said that yellow was popping too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Our resident, she tried to get
That's
us.
right. She can see
Yeah,
it. She got the eye, baby.
yeah. So that's that artistic part of
Yeah.
her. It's
Uh-huh.
all good. All right, so I'm finishing up this section, this part that we're doing, and it says physical science recognizes the second chakra as the law of cause and effect. And so you know how yesterday we talked about, or did we? Did we get into that? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. We talked about the yin and the yang, and how in the area of the chakra, that's what we talked about in this particular area, the second chakra, how that energy individuates, right? This is Kathy texting me like she don't know that I'm online right now. Anyway, I was talking about it because yesterday I was talking about this book. She says I am really washed out.
Uh-huh.
So maybe I need to figure that out so I can
I can see you now back there. I didn't get to hear about this book, so I'm writing it down.
well, so
I
I'm
was
gonna tell
gone, obviously.
this book is an old book, right? I got this back in 99. You didn't hear about this book. It was written
No,
in
I was trying to call.
1986. Let me tell you, I talked about this book because in this book, this man goes through all of this stuff. It's called the Cultivating the Female Sexual Energy. And in this book, this man talks about basically how you heal a woman through sex. And so it talks about like if she's got energy that is tied up in her system, different positions, different ways of penetrating. So some of these little pictures I can show y'all, but this is like, it says like healing the blood vessels or healing different issues. And so he talks about the positions that people go through in order to like change around sexual energy. So in this book, it was, taking what we call Kegel exercises to a whole nother level. It talks about also being able to feel energy and move like within a woman's uterus, that you're supposed to bring your awareness into your uterus and basically feel the parameters, or this side or that side, feel where, and it's an energetic awareness and feeling. And so he goes through a lot of stuff in here about this. However, when I was like, this book is so old. Let me see if this guy is still around. His name is Mantak Chai. So Mantak and then Chai, Chia. I
Okay.
looked him up, and girl,
Uh-huh.
he has blown up since 1980 something. So whereas on this book he was a young man, now on his website he's got an institute, he's got all of these healing modalities that he does. He's still doing the stuff about sexual energy. He's got videos up. So if you were at all interested in trying to figure out how to, and this is the guy I told him yesterday. I said, this man says not only are you supposed to be able to urinate through your penis, but you should also be able to suck water in through your penis. And so he goes through and he talks about all of this stuff with our sexual bodies, that we really need to tap into the power of this thing, of this body. And to some extent it seems like where he is really intensely focused is in on that second chakra stuff, but it is called cultivating female sexual energy. So if that's all the healing work that he's doing there, and it's been 40 years since then, and this man is still pumping out stuff, oh, I gotta check him out. I'm going to just take some time to peruse his site and see some of the stuff that he has available. So for those of you who are watching, I know you already on it. His name is Mantak, Mantak Chai, Chia. Look at his website, and you see if something in there resonates or speaks to you, and then figure out how you can help help with the healing process. I'm just
No.
saying. Yeah. And I was telling my girl, who I'm talking about, but I
Mhm.
was telling her, I was like, there are places all over the world, to some extent, that offer these things. I was just talking to somebody the other day, because I had a friend of mine who had gone to one of these healing places, and he said that all they ate was brown rice and I forget what it was, but it was an Eastern medicinal place. And really through, I think he must have stayed there for 8 weeks and had a tightly controlled diet in order to
I wish I
offset.
had that. I'm
Yeah.
declaring that into my existence. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I used to, so I'm gonna tell you honestly, I used to have this vision when I was younger. I'm not saying that I have totally given up on it, but when I was younger, I had a vision that I would have a house of healing. And this house of healing would just be some place where people came to recover from whatever illness or suffering that they were going through. So whether it was mental or physical or whatever, it was, let's do some radical work to
Yeah.
change this stuff. And
Yeah.
almost like just a huge house that where I could make that happen.
Yeah. They
And now,
cost $60,000 a month right now. I
yes,
know. I wanted to go to one, and I wanted to
yes,
create one when I opened up my center in Chicago. I just didn't have enough. It was too religious. It was too, there was a barrier. Um,
mhm,
but there was awareness in me that there was like energy work that needed to be done and a mindset change. But today, with all of my awareness and acceptance of people being able to change just because they are amazing humans, um, yes, a wellness center is what I've always envisioned.
yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
the same, that there are pockets of energies that happen, so They'll know
Uh-huh.
what life is bringing. A tribe,
Yeah,
the first
yeah,
chakra.
yes.
Yeah,
And you know,
yeah.
and it was so funny because when I was that video I sent you, when I
Mm-hmm.
was listening to it, the woman was talking about how she went through this major life transformation. And she said, I went to Vipassana and I was like, I went to Vipassana. Like, yes, powerful. And the thing about Vipassana is since it costs you nothing to go, really what you have to do is what it cost you is 10 days of yes, 10 days
Oh, I love
yes.
that. Yeah.
And so, you know, when they ring that bell at 4:30 in the morning, there's a yes, I'm gonna get up. When they tell you you got to be on your mat at 5 a.m., it's a yes. And when you get up and you go to breakfast and then you be back on that mat and it's 12 hours of meditation. And
Mhm.
it's a yes to every damn hour of it. And it's hard and it's ridiculous, but ooh, ooh. So yes, yes, yes.
All
That
listeners coming.
yes,
That's good. That's good. Good
yes.
stuff. Good stuff.
I am calling it forth. So
Yes.
that and so in the second chakra, and one of the things, okay, let me say this to y'all too, because y'all, you guys are getting in. I don't. We don't get to share this information all the time or share what excites us or fires us up all the time. I don't know. Maybe Stephanie does, but I don't, right? And so I'm just assuming that y'all vibe on this stuff since you're looking at it, that you vibe on this stuff like I do. Anyway, and I might have talked about this. This woman, Laura Day, wrote some books a while back ago on developing your intuition, your intuitiveness. Um, okay, I will. Thank you. You know, my brother and my sister, how come maybe your name is not what your name appears up here. Okay, so anyway, so there is this Laura Day wrote this book on developing your intuition, and one of the things that she said is that the way that you draw things to you, this act of manifestation, you know, a lot of times I'm always talking about prayer because prayer does change things, but she talks about this idea of the feeling gets the blessing, or she
Mm.
doesn't say it like that, but the feeling. And so one of the things that she says is that in the core of your body, she says, heat your body up like you would if you were if it was somebody that you were like vibing on. You know how when you vibe on somebody and you want to draw them, I don't know if you've ever done this, but you really just want to draw them in like a sexual magnetism or an attraction. And so she says, let your body heat up just like that, like you're drawing or pulling something out of the ethers. And then she says, and once you get yourself all heated up, like, you know, just feeling that heat energy in you. She says, once you then project in your mind that which you desire. She was like, so see it like you are creating it, like you are forming it.
Because you are.
And so, yes, yes, yes. And so that power is what needs to happen in order to create out of the nothingness. Can you see it? Like when they were sitting up there saying that God said, let there be, you being God now saying, let there be. That means you fire up yourself and then say your let there be. And then call forth what it is that you desire. Oh my
That is
goodness.
why it's essential to make sure that your energy centers are in alignment.
Yes. Yes.
That's why it's
Yes. Yes.
essential. That's why it's
Yes. Yes.
essential for them to be in alignment, for us to be aware that they exist first, and then
Right.
to make sure, like, am I okay? Have I healed the family tribal stuff? Have I healed the second chakra? Have I healed the third chakra? Am I operating in my creativeness fully without feeling the imposter syndrome, without feeling that I don't belong. So am I fully embracing that energy? Is my heart fully open? Not selectively open, but is my heart fully open? So when all those energies are in alignment, whoo, it's magic.
Yes, yes. But and it's really interesting because one of the things that as we're talking here, talking here about doing the work. And that work means that it takes you into not your ego, but
Yes.
into your higher self. Is surrendering what you thinking that other people would be impressed by about how much money you gonna make or how important you gonna be. All of that ego stuff gets set to the side when you're doing the work on you, and then
Well,
you're
when you're
able.
doing the work, you can't have ego anyway. After you finish the work, you're so humble. You like it's a different energy. It's like,
But I no, but I will say though, Stephanie, we don't have no one and dones because this is
no,
like
this is a
constant.
moment by moment. I was gonna say that when I
Yes,
said what I said, that it's not like,
yes,
oh, you do it and it's over. It's like a checking in. It's all,
yes.
I'll tell you, for me, when stuff don't show up, I'm like, oh, I need to check in.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
When I start
daily.
feeling this pull downness, I start checking in
Mhm,
because something is
mhm.
off. My energy is off because
Yeah,
magic is supposed to happen. The Course in Miracles, expecting a miracle every day, is so real for me today because I know that it is true. And I know that it's when I am in alignment with myself that
yeah,
every single day there's like this miracle, this magic that happens.
yes.
But it is
Mm-hmm.
intentional. It's a moment by moment because it's energy. It moves, like, so you can't,
Yes,
energy isn't static. So it could never be one and done.
yeah,
It's a motion.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Okay. This is the energy of law of cause and effect. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, and the law of magnetism. That's like oppositely charged um, items attract one another, right? So the yin to my yang, or whatever it is this idea of that this and then she says applied to relationships. Applied to relationships, these laws mean that we generate a pattern of energy that attract people who are opposite to us in some way, to have who have something to teach, right? So we attract the people, the right people to us when we get all of this stuff together. We emit, and well, even when you're not, right?
Right.
You're not, even if you don't have your stuff together, we
Right.
attract the right people
For
into
for
our
the growth.
lives.
Yeah.
Yes, who have something to teach us, or who we have something, but there is a purpose to our relationships, and they come together just so that we can learn those particular things. Nothing is random.
Never.
Nothing, right? Nothing is random. We only think so. And so you could be like, look, like having one of my experiences, like, oh, so this is what you have for me today, right? Oh, so here we go today, right? That's how it's got to be. We just kind of like thinking, okay, showed up right on time.
Right on
You know,
time.
even if you don't know it, it's showing up right on time. And yeah, so huh, I know who you are now. Okay, so okay. Okay, I'm out the way. Bye-bye. Okay, okay, I know who you are now. But I'm gonna forget again. So
Forgive me right now.
yeah, yeah, he said he changed his name, and now is uh Jeremiah, Hebrew Israelite. Okay, and so he changed his name, and so
Okay.
I'm gonna forget again. But I know now that I got him the old name that he used to be, then I'll, but I'm
Right,
gonna
right.
forget. It's so funny because yeah, I forget people's names anyway. but but I rarely forget like certain things. It's just the way my mind works. It's all good though. It's don't blame it on my head, not my heart, right?
Mhm.
So nothing is random. Prior to every relationship we have ever formed, we open the door with energy that we are generating.
That's magical to me.
So this thing that
Yeah, I asked for this.
yeah, so this thing that we sit up and think about, like, we kind of like trip because of who shows up, and then we try to make it seem like they did this to us and they did, we want to be their victims, but we opened the door. We we invited it in. We called it forth, right? It came to teach us or to show us something.
It's
So
always
don't be
here. It's
mad at me.
always here to teach us um,
Yeah.
something about our journey. It's always here to teach us something about our journey. Something
I,
we need to learn so that we can be our highest best self on our journey.
uh-huh. I was talking to a friend last night. This was one of my brother's close friends. And he was talking about how he had gotten food poisoning. And we just sitting up there, and so I kept saying stuff to him, and he was like, "Look, I'm not gonna let you keep talking to me like this." He was like, "You lucky I love you, because I just don't let people talk to me any old kind of way." And I was like, "I ain't telling you nothing but the truth, right? I ain't telling you nothing but the truth. Why be mad because somebody's telling you the truth, right?" So but but it is maybe that he needed to hear it. Like, if ain't nobody else gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you a little bit, smack you around a little bit, because it's like my brother. I ain't thinking about you. I gotta say what I'm gonna say. I'm like the old lady. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
And then you get mad because somebody call you one.
Yes.
That might be a message from the universe.
Okay, so you called me on that. But I know. That's just it.
I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe you got an old soul somewhere. I have no idea. That is your narrative. It's your story. But I'm just paying
yeah.
attention.
Look. I don't even know how you determine what old is
I don't
anymore,
think
though.
it's a thing.
Yeah. And then wait a minute. And then they always telling me, "Oh, the young people wear silver hair nowadays. They dye their hair silver." And I was thinking to myself, like, well, okay. I don't need that reassurance. I don't need that, but okay, that's beautiful.
We're gonna see how this all washes out. How does this come? What is this going to be?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. I'm scared. I'm scared, but I'm moving forward. Okay, this fact that makes learning about the second chakra dualism so delicious. The more conscious we become, the more consciously we can utilize the energy of the second chakra. So
Mm.
we open the door with the energy that we are generating. Now, here's the thing, too, because I want to say this because I'd be remiss if I didn't. I used to have this experience where I would complain about sometimes the attention that I would get, the quality of the attention I would get. So say for instance, I would go to the gas station or to the doctor's office or to the store or something like that. And for some reason, everybody would remind me of the big bad wolf. You know how they have the picture showing of the big bad wolf and he's salivating and looking at you like you his next meal? I would get people talking to me like that. And there was a
Hmm.
part of me that was really appalled by the way I would be looking at my zipper, at my stuff, and thinking to myself, what is it about me that people can talk to me in a way that I found offensive. I'll say it that way. I found offensive. I wanted people to look at me and see sophisticated or smart or something, but not look at me and see like a dripping vagina. I didn't want that. I wanted something different. And so what needed to happen is I needed to back up and check myself to see what it was that I may have been putting out, because remember that we open the door with the energy that we are generating. So I had to back up and then I had to check myself, right? So if you are having certain types of people talk to you or not talk to you,
Mm.
this is because of the energy that we generate. That energy calls forth something. And when I started doing a check on Sandra and Sandra's thinking, and realizing that I couldn't just, like, oh, I'm gonna turn it off for this hour. I'm gonna turn that,
Right.
get
No,
all
it's
this.
in motion. It's in motion.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just ratchet it down when I go to the gas station and then have it on full blast when I'm at the club, right? Because it doesn't like segment itself like this, right? And so what I had to do is I really had to check myself, and I don't get that anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I, you know,
Right. You don't get it anymore. Period.
right. But then maybe it's the silver.
There is help. Hey, the help is on the way. Like,
um but I mean that goes with we so sometimes what we do is we make ourselves victims of the world that we live in, right? And we'll say that people treat us in a particular way, whether it is like when we are looking for information or a job or this, that, and the other. We could be any number of things. And we talk about the way that other people respond to us without recognizing that it may be based on the energy that we're projecting out there. So if you are not liking the results or not liking what you are seeing, the way that people are approaching you, um, check out yourself, right? First, check in the mirror.
hmm yeah, and pay attention because there's always, I mean, we have energy, and it's just what
Yes,
it is. And unless you are aware of it, you aren't aware of it, and
yes,
that's a line.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I had a girlfriend one time. She was like, I don't understand why people always coming up to me and telling me uh this, that, and the other. I don't understand that. And it's like, check yourself. Check yourself. Because it could just be the vibe that you are that you're
Yeah,
putting
and
out there.
if it's happening repeatedly, then yeah, just
Mhm.
mm, how else will we grow if we don't
Yeah,
have these experiences? They need to happen.
yeah,
They have to happen. So kind of
yeah,
what we were
and
talking about in the
and
beginning, the resistance piece. I think
mhm.
times we are resisting unconsciously, not unknowingly, that we are resisting opportunities to grow by pushing back, or why they, and then as opposed to what's inside of me that is bringing this to me. Mm.
Mm-hmm. And if we think about it like having a little dial, you could dial it up,
Mm.
it's kind of like one of those things where when you change in the dial, you may not see it immediately, but to be conscious of it, to change your dial and then to be conscious of it and then to move in that, right? So if you have had a poverty mindset, a miserly mindset, and you want to change around what you see coming to you in your life, that means that, okay, maybe my dial means that I'm not tripping over every time I see, $10. I'm not gonna be sitting up there like, damn, $10, right? You gotta start to ratchet up, like, okay, let me not trip until it gets to 100. Let me not trip until, start to turn the dial. And then what you see is that over time, you will, you'll start walking differently. If stop tripping over stuff, stop tripping over crazy stuff, right? And then you'll start seeing something different happen. Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave that alone for a minute. I'm gonna leave it alone so we can move on to this thing, power of choice.
Yeah, what time is it? It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's just now 8 o'clock. Just now 8 o'clock. Okay, the energy of second chakra helps us evolve beyond the collective energy of the tribe. So whereas before we're moving with a tribe, now of course we are starting to spread out. Choice is born out of opposites, and the duality of the second chakra is forever challenging us to make choices in the world of opposing sides,
Mm.
of positive and negative patterns or whatever. Every choice we make contributes a subtle current of our energy to our universe, which is responsive to the influence of human consciousness. So, I think that I think that this section is so vitally important. So, forgive me if I seem to read a little bit more where I can add some insights, I will, but I want to really make sure that I don't skip over some of this. I will try to zero in on this stuff, but I think that this is really important because sometimes people have this impression that no choice is a no choice, but no choice
It's a
is,
choice. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so so this thing of like, I'm gonna stick my head in the sand, or I'm not gonna pay attention, or I'm not gonna open that bill, or I'm not gonna say something to this boss, or I'm not gonna speak to that sister, or all of that is a choice. I'm not gonna, yeah, all of it is a choice.
and
So
and um
managing,
and remember that not only is it a choice, but that our lives are symbolic. So when we start to examine life through a symbolic way, we we should be encouraged to look at other areas in our lives where we are failing to make choices, our own choices, where we're hesitant, because there's a pattern in that. So if something came up today, pay attention to that in something else, because it's always happening for us. That failure to choose, or how we choose, or the methods that we use to choose, like that's what came up for me when I was reading this, that there's patterns that we have in our ways of making choices. For those who don't make choices, that's a pattern. So there's patterns that we should pay attention to. And one of the things that we've learned so far is that looking at life from a symbolic place, and not as literal as we've been trained to look at it, but from a symbolism, that, oh yeah, and I see that in other things. I see that in other areas of my life, that this is, so I just wanted to put that in there because it was forefront in my mind as I was
Mhm.
reading this chapter, that we pay attention. That is this choice symbolic of a choice that I've made in my past? Can we
Mhm.
see, can we see how these things are patterns that we
Yeah.
are living in?
So like, so say for instance, my brother always kind of chose the same kind of women, and then would wonder why it was that, you know, he would have the experiences that he did. And it was like, sometimes you can choose something different, then there's the people who will go eeny, meeny, miny, mo,
Mhm.
catch us something by his toe.
Mhm.
If it hollers, that was a method of choice. And some people, they just whatever chose them is what their
The
choice was.
choice. Hmm.
Right. So it's not that I'm going after a job that I want. It's like I'm gonna throw a whole bunch of stuff out there and see what chooses me.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I mentioned that, because it's important for us to be aware of our patterns, because the intention of all of this is to shift. So I just wanted to say that.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So let's see, managing the power of choice with all its creative and spiritual implications is the essence of the human experience. All spiritual teachings are directed towards inspiring us to recognize the power to make choices is dynamic and converts our spirit into matter.
Mhm.
It converts our spirit into matter,
Mhm.
our words into flesh. So remember, I was saying that we are drawing out of the invisible into the visible
Mhm.
something that is formed.
Mhm.
Mm. I never heard it that way. It was tiger by the toe. Meeny, money, mo. Gotcha. I don't know what I said. Catch
Okay.
it. Catch it something by his toe. I don't know. Okay. Okay. I don't even know what I said, Gretchen, but okay. Catch a. I don't know. Okay, whatever I said. Okay.
I heard tiger by the toe too. I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm gonna research that this weekend. I want to
Okay.
know what the intention of that is. That statement that we've been
What did
trained.
I say though?
I don't remember. We can listen.
I don't either. But yeah, I don't know.
But you were saying how people make a choice with
Yeah,
partners or
right.
things like that, or connections. We do the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then whatever our finger lands on, we'll take it.
Uh-huh. Right.
That was
Right.
the intention of the
Right.
statement. Hmm. But I don't
Or
remember
there
what
was
language you
another
used.
one. My mother told me, I think there was another something. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
that would be how people would make their choices. And um, okay, okay. I don't know. Okay. Eeny meeny. Okay. I don't know. Okay. so so that was I mean, but in essence, that's how people would just make choices about stuff without really actually making a real like decision about it, or and they say, how is it that we can, or how do we pray for something that we don't have the audacity to actually name or actually form a idea or a thought around it, and so that all comes out of this power to decide something, right? um and so choice is a process of creation itself. So this choosing is major,
Mm.
right? It's a major thought form. It's a major thing. And what we say yes to matters. Ooh, because a lot of times I remember saying to somebody, I deserve something, I deserve better than this, or I deserve such and such. And he said back to me, he was like, I don't know what I deserve. And I was thinking, well, maybe that's why you get any old thing, because you don't know what you deserve. And sometimes people just think that they deserve the shiny package, or the best looking package, or the fastest car, or the most expensive this or something. When you don't know what you deserve, you get what you get. I want to, and sometimes when I'm praying, sometimes I'm telling God, the highest and best for me. Because I might think, like, I talk all the time about my car. When I got that car, I was like I was going to buy a Ford Fiesta. And I was praying for my divine right transportation, but looking at a Ford Fiesta. And I was saying to God, the highest and best for me. I don't know what that is. And so I was just, I'm gonna be in that mindset. Let me just pray for the highest and best for me. And that's how I got that Benz that I got, because it wasn't in my consciousness at the time.
Right.
It wasn't in my head.
Right.
I was like, yeah, that's in my mind,
but at the time, to the point that you made to the person you were talking to, at the time, you didn't know what you deserved either. You were choosing the Fiesta. So I think that we get what we deserve until we, come into a conversation like you guys had. And then that person goes, I wonder what it is I want. Oh, I get to ask for something greater, because they are getting what they deserve. They're getting at the level of their own expectation, even if it's unconscious. You were thinking for Fiesta, a new car, I'm gonna get it, but yet you got what you deserved, and it could be getting more too. But I think that when we aren't aware that we have that choice, we do just get just enough. We get at the level of our personal expectation. You were thinking for Fiesta, life was saying, yeah, no, I got this for you.
yeah, I mean, that's what I was looking at. But what I knew was, I knew that the mentality, I had the miserly mentality that was saying I had a Ford Fiesta budget.
Mm-hmm.
So so that pattern that we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a pattern that I was dealing with. My pattern of thinking was, was that budget tail, that, right? That was there.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm telling God,
The highest and best.
my highest and best, right? Or this or something better, whatever, highest and best for me. And then to be able to and be willing to, because I was fighting it still.
For
I was
you.
saying, I was like, oh, oh man, somebody else is gonna get it. And the guy was like, unless you get here first. And then it's like, oh, this is a race. Okay. And now let me run, and okay. And now, oh, I gotta come up with the money. Oh, okay, let me see. What do I need to do in order to get this cash in your hand? And who would have known that by noon I would have that car the same day? And then I didn't even have the courage to drive the damn thing home myself. That's where my head was. I had my brother drive the car home for me. I was like, I can't even get it. I can't get in it. I couldn't get in it, Stephanie, in the car that I just bought, because I didn't have the audacity. It's been some years. It's been some years, right? It ain't there anymore. I didn't have the audacity to even drive my own car home. So we got to where we desire to be. Let me go to that expanse. Let me stretch there, right? Not where I am. So that good. In having a let there be moment, we are not saying let there be just just this little much.
Yeah.
We got to let there be big, right?
So
Have the
true.
audacity to go big. Go big or go home.
Why
I
not?
love this
Right.
stuff. I love this stuff.
And it's in our choices.
Yes. Yes.
It's in our choices.
Yes. And so let me because there's another line I want to make sure that I get in before we get there at the top of 133. So let me get through this last piece down here. The fact that our choices weave our spirit into events is the reason the major spiritual traditions are formed around one essential lesson: make your choices wisely,
Mm-hmm.
because each choice you make is a creative act of spiritual power for which you are held responsible.
I got that highlighted too.
So one of the things that my mother used to say all the time was, if you make your
Your
bed, you
bed,
gotta
you
lie,
lie in it. Mm-hmm.
right? Or be careful what you ask for,
Mm-hmm.
because you just might get it.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Mm-hmm.
Um, you ever talk to somebody who realized that they were living at the effect of the prayers that they uttered?
Mm-hmm.
That's a deep thing. I will tell y'all that I know someone who made a prayer, or who had a prayer that they wanted somebody that to love that would never leave them. And they gave birth to a child that was handicapped.
Mm.
What a burden, right? To call upon yourself. Now, not saying that she loves her any less, but it's almost as if when you make a choice or you ask for something, you don't always know how it's going to show up, because it might show up in a way that you had never anticipated.
True.
So we have to, yeah, be careful, be mindful about what it is that we're asking for. Because yes, please send me someone to love, right? That becomes a request, but man, but in that, don't let my love ever be a prison, or don't ever let somebody be here because they have to be, like they have no other choices, no other options.
That's good.
It's gotta be expansive, it's gotta be big, it's gotta be good, the highest and best, the highest and best. And so sometimes what we do is let me because I guess it's in this next line coming up, so let me further, any choices made from faith have the full power of
Behind.
heaven behind it.
Yes, I starred that, underlined it, highlighted it.
The
I did the whole nine.
power of heaven behind it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's enough to just be like, woo, woo. I mean,
Right?
you know, ah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. So, which is why she says, which is why faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains, because it's got the full power of heaven behind it. Now, this is the thing that I wanted to make clear. Any choice made from fear is a violation of the energy of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Any choice made from fear is a violation of the energy of faith. So, um, like I was just saying, when we make stuff based on our fears, people will pray for relationships, or will pray for jobs, will pray for this with the idea that they are just just based on ideas of limitation and lack, of failure, of the musical chairs and not having one to sit down in at the end, right?
Yes. Oh,
Fearful thoughts. And when you make decisions based on fear, that is a violation, and the repercussions of that violation in itself is a negative act. In itself will it y'all, I'm wondering if it goes on because but now let's say, that's why I'm saying though, there is I don't even know if it's a line in the Bible, but I know Joseph Campbell talks about it a lot. He was in Finnegan's Wake and some other places. He was talking about or pointing to this thing in the Bible that says, oh gosh, do I have it? Look, I gotta. Um, and wouldn't you know, as I get this, I'm sitting up there thinking, like, am I going to be able to find this line easily? And he talks about, I think it is James Joyce, who I write in the margins of all of my books. And that's why sometimes when I'm looking for stuff, I just start flipping, because I know what it looks like in the margin that I wrote on, and I'm just looking for the margin. And but he was talking about this book that was written by James Joyce, and I do believe it was Finnegan's Wake. And he says it kept referring back to a particular passage in the Bible. And this passage was to say that when you sin big, so that you can see the bigness of forgiveness, or the how God can forgive or work through whatever situations. So when I say go big or go home, or when I'm talking about this idea of at the expanse, it is because we are supposed to do stuff based on our faith and not necessarily on our fear. I didn't know that Stephanie had turned her camera off, but it's good. It's good. So, oh, look, I found some other stuff, right? As I'm looking through here, it says, yeah, sometimes y'all ain't ready for this stuff, but it's all good. It says in most cultures, this is out of The Power of Myth, and it is Joseph Campbell talking. He says in most cultures, this has got nothing to do with, maybe it has everything to do, it's no accidents, right? In most cultures, there are 2 or 3 creation stories, not just one. There are 2 in the Bible, right? Even though people treat them as one story, we remember the Garden of Eden in chapter 2, God trying to think of ways to entertain Adam, who he had created to be his gardener, to take care of his garden. That is an old story that was borrowed from ancient summer. The gods wanted somebody to take care of the garden and cultivate the food they needed, so they created man. That's the background of the myth of chapter 2 and 3 in Genesis. Wait a minute. So yeah, so that had nothing to do with it. That was just something else that that could have something to do with it. But now I'm looking for, and then that's good. That's good. I love this book. If you guys have not watched The Power of Myth, it's a good thing to watch the program, but it's even better when you get this book. I got the book. I actually had two of them, but I gave one to my friend Larry and never got it back. Whatever. Because I used one as to write in, and I kept a backup copy because I always wanted to have it. And then I gave him a copy so that because he wanted to read it because I talked about it so much. And then as things happen, you get books or you loan out books and then you never get the book back. So I still have my working copy here. So but yeah, in Finnegan's Wake, it was, I wanted to tell y'all the scripture because I like giving people equipment that they can use. I used to have this, well, I still do. He still comes to the call-in when I do the church service online. And one of the things that he used to say is that he is part of a family full of Jehovah Witnesses. And he always used to say, I need to have ammo. So that means that he needs scriptural references because otherwise they will beat him over the head with the Bible. And so I'm conscious of that, but at the same time, I just never think of, as of religion and all of this stuff. I never think of it as a, like a battlefield. Some people do. I don't. I think that this is here to guide us. I'm gonna put this down though. Maybe tomorrow I will find it or find it at another point. But I'm not seeing it right off. So I'm gonna put this down because I need to finish talking to y'all. Ooh. Oh, let me read this right quick and then I'm gonna put this down. So I don't know what they're talking about in this particular section, but I have written in the margin ego. And Bill Moyer is asking him, what's my ego? And Campbell asks, what you think you want, what you will believe, what you think you can afford, what you decide to love, what you regard yourself as bound to. It may be all much too small, in which case it will nail you down. And if you simply do what your neighbors tell you to do, you're certainly going to be nailed down. Your neighbors are then your dragons as it reflects from within yourself. Our Western dragons represent greed. However, the Chinese dragon is different. It represents the vitality of the swamps and comes up beating its belly and bellowing. Howa, howa, howa. And that's a lovely kind of dragon, one which yields a bounty of waters, great and glorious gift. But the dragon of our Western tales tries to collect and keep everything for himself. In his secret cave, he guards things, heaps of gold and perhaps a captured virgin. He doesn't know what to do with either. So he just guards it and keeps it. But can you see that? Our egos, he's saying that what you think you want, what you will to believe, what you think you can afford. This is what I was just talking about, right? I mean, it's just so good because it just kind of comes back around on itself. And so all of this stuff becomes about these lessons that we are learning about ourselves. So yeah, in that Finnegan's Wake, though, he said that that the whole idea is that we have to be able to see that our life is about more than the little stuff that we are making decisions based on, but rather we got to go to the max, go to the expanse of what is possible. So then she says, and then I'm going to get off of here because I realized that yeah, Stephanie probably won't be back, and I'll never, like, all of this won't even fit into today. Um, but she says, choice has a mysterious aspect. Now, hear this, hear this. It has a mysterious aspect. However, for we will never completely know the full outcome of any choice we make. Right? So say for instance, yeah, let me just dwell on that for a minute, because we'll never know the full outcome of the choice that we make. So let me relate this back to when I was in when I was in college. I had decided that there was a big part of me that wanted to get off the merry-go-round. I was walking down the street, eating a tuna fish sandwich. No, I was walking down the street and I was just like looking around, and I kept thinking to myself, I want out, right? Like a scene out of the Matrix. I want out. And I was trying to figure out, like, what does that mean for me? I want it out. And then I came across this brochure, people talking about this study abroad program that my university had started. And at the time I was, I at the time, I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth, right? I tell everybody the honest to God truth, but I don't always tell everything, right? So at the time, I'm in college, struggling because I'm in college, don't have no money. My parents ain't necessarily bankrolling me or nothing like that because I went to college late. And so I was struggling. I had a sugar daddy. I had a sugar daddy. Yes, I'm that cute. All right. I had a sugar daddy at the time. And that was helping me with my stuff. So anyway, I was like, I want out. And so I came across this thing about the study abroad program, and I was thinking to myself, I went in there and I talked to the finance department, financial, whatever it's called. And I was like saying, wow, can I take, how can I pay for this? Right. And they were like, oh, you can get a student loan, but you can only get a student loan for what your tuition would be. And you can get this, and you could put your Pell Grant towards that, and blah blah blah. And so I was like thinking to myself, but I'm still going to be a little short if I wanted to go to, and there was a lot of places that were named. France was one of them, and there was all these different countries that you could go to. But Italy turned out to be the cheapest. Like it was like like $8,000, I think. But still, even if I pulled all that money together, I was still going to be a little short, right? So I was like thinking to myself, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? And so anyway, your dream make room for you, right? Anyway, I ended up getting what I needed together. And I remember getting on the plane, and as I got on the plane, because I didn't know anything about Italy, I didn't know what I could open up into an encyclopedia. It was that time, right? I was looking in the encyclopedia for information, trying to get ideas about the culture, the weather, all of that stuff. I didn't know any of this stuff, and as I'm getting on the plane, I'm saying to myself, man, I could get over here, and because nobody has ever seen me before, nobody knows me, I can be whoever the hell I want to when I step off of this plane. I no longer have to be the girl that I was. I can be brand new. And I spent that year over there. And it's one of those things that you never know what the choices you make are going to yield, and then what the outcome of those choices are, how it's going to inform your life later on. And it's one of those things that just because you go someplace or you make a choice to do something, a choice is bigger than you are, right? And you exist in that bigness while you're there, but you never really know, like it's one of those things that years later I can still see the residual effects of that choice in my life. And I know for so many of us, we make choices and sometimes not make choices, right? Sometimes you choose not to put on a condom, or you choose to do what somebody else has, oh, you should get married. And you're like, okay, sometimes it's a non-choice, or sometimes it's just going with it seems like the path of least resistance, or what's easiest, or, or you take a job that, that is less than what you are capable of. And you're languishing in something. You never know at the moment you're making the choices, what the outcome of those choices are going to be. And so if you're making them based on fear, you can rest assured, right? It's going to be like one of those things. I just got this image of when you make it based on fear, that's like just, you go in this thing, and at a certain point it's going to spit you out because it's beneath what your potential is for your life. It's going to spit you out. And so here, look, it's not lost on me that I could be talking about myself too. Like that, what I do on a daily basis may be beneath what it is my potential is, right? That could be absolutely the truth. But here's what I know is that you're not going to catch me sitting. You're not going to catch me sitting in my unaware doing nothing. And so until stuff catches up with me, I'm gonna be moving. I'm gonna be moving. And so don't sit in your in your unaware, right? You underwear, unaware, right? Don't sit there and do nothing, right? Because they say even if you on the right track, if you just sit there too long, you're gonna get run over. So make it work for you. Make it be about something. Right? You never know. And you see the pixie dust of the choices that you make, and even those that you don't make. You see them all along your path. I hope for your sake that it's something that when you see it come back up again, it's not something that you just be like, oh, damn, I did that. Right? Because sometimes that is, oh, darn, you made a mistake, or, oh, I went there. Yes. It was so funny. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, and then I'm gonna let you go. But when I went to pick up the car that I was telling you about, I was that was beyond what I thought. When I pulled up, the guy who I was buying it from, had a turban on his head. I don't know, Indian or whatever he was. I don't know. But when I pulled up, he looks at me and he was like, "Oh, you trying to go from that to this?" And I'm looking at him like, I guess so. you know, I guess so. And oh, okay. If you got the money, I guess, okay. And sometimes that's how it is, right? You see the person that person dated before you, and you be like, you trying to go from that to this? Really? They ain't ready. Anyway, but at the bigness, go for the expanse, go for big, or go home, right? All right. So I'm going to leave off there. I'm going to put a mark here. You guys remember, we are not going to be here over the weekend. I'm going to put this in pencil. I need to put 5:27 here, so I know where to pick up at tomorrow. And because I got one sentence into that thing. So we won't be here over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't know Tuesday, but so yes, so I thank you. You guys really think about, examine choices, all of that stuff that you are making, and let it guide you, right? Let it guide you. Hopefully you've gotten something to chew on here. Check out that guy, Man Tech Chai, and and some other things. Just I'm so, you know what, and you can share with me how this is affecting you, how it's blessing you, or whatever. I am totally interested in all of that. Um, yeah, I'm totally interested in all of that because I appreciate you guys supporting this. All of this. I recognize that there is a process that goes on here. So my Cash App thing is always up in the description. I know that one of the things that I'm aware of is for all of us, there is this need to participate. So even if you don't do anything else, go out and share some insight that you receive here because it's important. It's important to take part in the process, to be a part of the process. That's an important thing. Step two. So I bless you. I'll see you the next time. Go in peace and just multiply this consciousness because that's really what it's all about. And let me say it this way too, and don't go with the idea of j'accuse, like of looking at other people and now wanting to say I know what your problem is and all of this stuff. This is internal work. This is self work that we are doing. So be about the business of doing your self work. All right, so all right, where is the mouse? All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Yeah, God willing, and the creek don't rise. I will be here, and I'll see you then. All right, so blessings to you. Tomorrow is Friday. It's Friday. So happy Friday Eve, happy Thursday, and I'll see you then. Bye. Thanks, Stephanie.